Hello and welcome to Palace Fan TV for Jim and Jay's final say post Watford. I'm Jim Daly and these are my thoughts on Palace's win at Watford that took us to 6th in the table after 7 games, which is crazy given how difficult we thought the start of the season was going to be. I didn't actually make it to Vicarage Road on Sunday. I was working, but I was working covering the game, so I got to watch it, which is good. And it was a good result for Palace. Not the best performance, I think we'll agree. At times we were sort of under the cosh and Watford, and they came at us early on in the game, but we withheld. We stood the pressure, and in the end ground out a result. And it's one of those results that proves Palace can dig in and get results even if they're not playing particularly well. But it certainly wasn't a terrible performance from Palace at all. A lot of changes in the team. Some of them brought about by injury, some of them by selection. Wayne Hennessy was given a start in goal. Bit of a surprise, that one. No reports of an injury to McCarthy, so it looks like McCarthy was dropped purely because of those errors in the last few games against Spurs and against City. I actually think McCarthy's been really good for us and is still probably our best keeper, but it's fair enough if you want to give someone like Hennessy a go. Hennessy's a good keeper, played well for Wales. We haven't seen much of him, but I know a lot of Palace fans rate him, and he did okay. But we've got 3, when Jules comes back, we've got 3 decent keepers. First time I can ever remember us having that kind of selection headache in goal. So it's certainly a good option to have. And I'd still go with McCarthy, but I think Hennessy did okay against Watford. A couple of slip-ups here and there and fumbles, but they weren't punished in the same way that errors by McCarthy were in recent weeks. So he did okay and got a clean sheet. First clean sheet of the season, actually. So, should give him some credit there. Watford really, though, didn't really test him. They had 1 shot on target in the first half and then 1 more in the second half. And that was it. They hit the crossbar with a free kick, which Hennessy was well beaten for, but that was really it. So most of the credit should really go to the defence. Certainly Hangeland, who was fantastic, probably his best game in a Palace shirt, easily man of the match. Again, only coming in because of injury to Daly, but he was absolutely superb. Just kept it simple when he had the ball. Didn't, against Spurs, he was trying to dribble around all the strikers. Didn't do any of that. Kept it simple. Won a lot of headers in the air. A lot of crucial blocks in the box, and was fantastic. Martin Kelly played it right back again, covering for Ward, did okay. Got skinned a bit early on by their left midfielder out wide, but didn't have a terrible game. And any time the guy did skin him, Hangeland was there to clear up. So the defence did well and kept a clean sheet. In midfield, there was a change. MacArthur was injured in training this week, so Ledley came in. And we all know what Ledley can do. We all know what his game is and what he offers. And he was brilliant again, sweeping on front of the back 4. Scott Dan went on Match of the Day afterwards and name-checked Ledley for his performance. So that was great. And Ledley was next to Cabaye, and Cabaye was able to go a bit further forward, still sitting deep, but was able to sort of dictate things a bit further forward, but also continues to show that part of his game where he can dig in, he can be aggressive, be physical. Gave away a yellow card late on in the game as Palace were holding on with a foul on the halfway line. You think, yeah, that's the sort of player that's going to dig in for our team, and it means a lot to him. So that was good, and he continues to be a really good player for us, Cabaye, and almost surprisingly in the areas of the pitch we weren't expecting him to, but he was great. And a brilliant penalty, which was won by Wilf. Wilf was given a challenge by Pardew against Watford, dropped because his performance against Spurs wasn't good enough, brought on and asked to change the game, and he did that, winning the penalty, almost identical to the penalty won in the playoff final in 2013, the last time he played Watford. That area of the penalty box, some Watford fans saying it was a dive and it was outside the box. Both false, clearly in and clearly not a dive. None of the Watford players protested. It was obviously a penalty, and dispatched by Cabaye in the same area of the goal that Kevin Phillips did in 2013. So more than a hint of familiarity about the result for Palace. Gale up top was given a chance. I wrote an article for ESPN this week saying Gale's got to start in this kind of game, and he did. Didn't really get into it. There wasn't a lot of service for him, to be honest, but didn't really have the impact we'd hoped from Gale. It looked a bit off the pace, but then that happens when you're not playing week in, week out. Had 1 chance in the second half, which hit the upright. It looked like the defender actually knocked it onto his foot, which is the case, and that's unlucky for Gale. But he's in the right position, lovely ball in. He does have that quality. It's just about finding a way for him to play in our team and bringing the best out of him. But not a terrible performance by him by any stretch of the imagination, and not a terrible performance by Palace. A good result up to 6th now. That's 9 wins from 12 away from home under Pardew, which speaks for itself. We've just got to try and transform that into home games, and we've got games against West Brom and Watford coming up that are winnable. So a good result. Not the best performance, but a good result, and proof that this team is building and is progressing each week. And certainly proof that we've got good quality in the depth of our squad. With a few injuries out, we still managed to grind out a result. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Watford game. Here's Jay from the Eagles Speak. Don't forget to subscribe for Palace Fan TV for more of these videos. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Comment with your thoughts below on the game. Was Hangeland your man of the match? Who else shone for you? And follow Palace Fan TV on Facebook and Twitter for all the latest. Right, here's Jay from the Eagles Speak with his thoughts. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Hi guys, welcome back to Palace Fan TV. This is Jim and Jay's final say. You've heard what Jim's had to say about the results at Watford today, and now it's my turn to share my views. So, yeah, Vicarage Road, a repeat of the playoff final, which thankfully we won and kind of set us off on a journey we're on now. Actually, tricky place to go. Watford have been, had some decent form. I think they've only lost one game leading up to this game, so they're on the same points as we are, but they've drawn more games. Difficult side to play, especially away from home, but we ground out a result, which is what good teams do against some of these sides. You can't play well every week, and that's what we've seen in the last few weeks. We've been playing well at City, well at home against City and lost. Didn't play particularly well at Tottenham and lost. Today, it wasn't a great game. It got to a niggly game in the second half. I think the difference was Zaha when he came on. Decent substitution. Sacco went off. Zaha came on. And he did what we want from him. Zaha did what he did in the week against Charlton. Actually, he picked up the ball and ran against the defenders, and that's what proved the difference. A silly challenge right on the edge of the area, which resulted in a penalty for us. And it's a question that I've been asked a few times actually recently. If we get a penalty, who will take the penalties? And Kabay stepped up as one of the names I mentioned being a penalty taker. And surprised Gale didn't actually step up. But obviously, Kabay has probably got the say over him taking it over the others, and he finished it well. It was a tough game. It was we didn't play particularly, we didn't play that well, but I think we played with a little bit more nous than Watford did. Being a new side to the Premier League, tough side to break down. Good defensive sides. Didn't really have much going forward, I have to say. I think Hennessy had a couple of saves to make. One of them wasn't that great, but Hennessy is in the side over McCarthy, which was a big decision before the game. A lot of people have said many things about McCarthy and some of the mistakes he's kind of made recently. But Hennessy made a big mistake in the week against Charlton, so it was an interesting one for sure to bring him in. Obviously, Gale started the game off the back of his great result, great game against Charlton, scoring a hat-trick. You do wonder whether he could play the lone role up front. I think he struggled at times today. He really did. We didn't particularly play his strengths in putting the ball straight through to him on the floor, but he did well. He had a couple of efforts on goal. One just before he was substituted actually, which kind of created himself, turned defender, and ball just went wide. But I think we were good value for the win in the end. Perhaps we lost the possession stats, but I think attacking wise we had a lot of intent, and I think we had more shots on target from what I know. I mean, I'm recording this straight after the game, so I haven't looked at the stats and things like that, so I could well be wrong. But personally, that's my view from watching the 90 minutes. Wasn't a great game to watch, but like I mentioned earlier, we dug out a result, and that's what you got to do against these teams. We are beating teams that you would expect us to beat so far this season, which is a pleasant change. Just hopefully we can pick up some more points going forward from here. We have West Brom at home next weekend, which is an early kick-off. And again, that game at home is a game that you would hope we can get 3 points from. So hopefully we can continue and build on today. We've kind of had 2 losses on a spin against sides which 2 sides that finished in top 2 last season, which it's no bad thing to lose to teams such as that. But I think the way we've set up our stall so far this season, you're kind of disappointed that we lost games like that because we have played so well. But today was a completely different game. We got stuck in. Kabay got stuck in. For me, Hangeland was man of the match. I think Sky Sports awarded him the man of the match, but he was outstanding again today. A lot of people say that we were missing a central defender from the summer spending before the transfer window closed. But I think Hangeland's proven that he's worth more than the 1-year deal that we signed him back on in the summer. Great performance. Nothing got past him. Very similar to Scott down next to him. They were immense together at the back. The rest of the side, you know, Blassie had glimpses, Puncheon had glimpses, kind of worked his way into the game, didn't play great first half. Could buy a slight off day for a guy of that talent. But he got stuck in. You know, I think he got kicked a lot in the first. I think Watford identified him as a real threat, as you would expect them to, and he got a few kicks in the first half. But second half was really scrappy. Perhaps turned into a game which, you know, if one team got a goal, it would be hard for the other one to get back in, and so it proved. So great 3 points. Very happy. Performance-wise, you know, we ground it out, got the win, and that's what we need at this stage. You know, not all wins are going to be. You know, great attacking efforts and, you know, that sort of thing. So we move on to West Brom next week, and we look forward to it. So we're back next week with another review. By all means, leave your comments underneath this video. Subscribe to Palace Fan TV if you don't already. Leave your comments on Twitter. Ask any questions you want to. Anything you want to see from these videos, or you're happy with how they're going, then great. But, you know, by all means, leave your questions and ideas for us on Palace Fan TV on Twitter and both on the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we're back next week. Cheers, bye.